Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to talk about CSS Flexbox. And Flexbox means a flexible box. It allows us to design a flexible responsive layout even without using float and display property. So if you want to make the flexible layout, what we were using to arrange the divs on horizontal row, we were using display property or we were using float property. It internally convert these divs into inline block. Okay, or either we need to use display property also, or to make the div alignment. So instead of that, CSS comes with new properties. That properties is called Flexbox properties, and Flexbox has two components. First is main div. Main div should be a flex container, means we will add the class as a flex container for parent div, and each div inside, okay, we do not need to add any class to this div, but for parent div we have to use the one property that is display as a flex, and internal divs will behave like a, automatically it will behave like a responsive divs. Okay, so how this works we will see. So I will remove everything from CSS, and now I will say, or for this to, I will say flex container. When I say flex container, I will add the property so that we can see that I will add background color as a light gray. I will add light gray, and here you will see the divs are as of now aligned vertically, but it has taken a background color for the 100% width. And always flex container will always take 100% width, but we have to arrange these four divs. We are worried about this, how this will work. So for that purpose we need to declare display property for container as a flex display flex. So until now we were using display inline, display block, display inline block, or display none. So now onwards we will use, or we will have to use display as a flex. The moment you say display flex, you will see the difference. All the divs will be automatically converted to the inline elements. They are not taking 100% width now. So this is how it works. This property will define a lot for us, and this is the way to declare the flex box. If you do not use this property, or if you do not mention display flex for the parent element, parent div, your divs will not behave like parent flex items, means they will not be a flexible elements. Okay, so now we can add the property to the child element, means flex item. Okay, and what I need to do, I will add background color. Okay, and what any light color I will use. So light gray I have used. Okay, light pink I will use, and you are able to see that it is taking the area, as much area as it requires. Okay, so now by default these all four divs are coming on horizontal row. I want this to be shown vertically, so I can transform that by using flex container properties. Means flex container properties will allow you to define how these divs should behave inside the container. Okay, but before that, I would like to add some padding to these divs so that it looks little pretty, and it should take some space. So now my boxes are arranged in this way. So later on, what I will do, I will say, okay, what I have to say, I have to say border of 1 pixel, solid gray, or green border I will take, okay, whatever. And here you are able to see that each div has taken only required width and whatever the padding we have added to it. Now, if I want this div to be vertically aligned, for that purpose, for flex container, we have a property called flex direction. Flex direction property allow you to define whether your flex item should be displayed on horizontal row or it should be a vertical. If you want horizontally, you can keep the row as it is, and it nothing will change, because by default value of this flex direction is row. But if you change it to column, you will see the effect here. They will be taking 100% width and they are coming on new line. If you want this alignment, when this div should start from reverse direction, means this fourth div should display first. So yes, that is also possible. Here we can declare column reverse, and here you will see that fourth will come first and third second and first will come last. So similarly, we have a column reverse, and for row we have row reverse. So if I say row reverse, you will see that it will be started from end of the container, flex container, and it is in a reverse direction, right? We don't need to declare much properties. We have to say only we have to declare this property and everything will happen automatically. That is the beauty of CSS flex properties. Now let's say if I have a multiple elements, okay, I will add many elements to this. Okay, I have added as many elements as I want. Still they are able to fit. I will add a few more. And here you are able to see that, or I will change this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I will keep this 10 only, and I will increase the padding to the 50 pixel. And you are able to see that it is covering up only 7 divs completely, and other divs are out of my box or out of my border. So let me convert this to row so that it will be displayed like this. Okay, and it is adding some of the scroll bar for remaining div space, means ninth div and 10th div, or ninth element or 10th element of flex item is, or even 8th is also not completely fitting on horizontal row. And by default property for this is flex wrap. Okay, flex wrap is no wrap. This is a default. Okay, that's why it is adding a scroll bar. But if your divs are not able to fit on your screen, then I want this div should start on new line. In that case, we have to say that flex wrap is equal to wrap only, and your structure will be changed like this. Okay, so this is how it works. Okay, it has 1 0 more, that's why it is little bit bigger, but no issues. So we have a flex wrap property to make this happen, right? And this is what we want, right? We want a flexible structure. It should automatically change. If you have a multiple elements inside a one parent, we can use these properties so that your page should behave like this. And if I change the screen size, okay, you can see that it is automatically taking up 3 divs. If I further reduce the size, it will automatically take up these two. And this is what the kind of responsiveness of your web page. So next property is flex flow. This is a shorthand property for flex direction and flex wrap. Instead of declaring these two property, what I will do, I will comment out this and I will say flex flow. Okay, flex flow. And here you can say that first thing you need a row, or if you want to wrap or no wrap, you have to declare as a second value. So I will say wrap so that it will not change anything on my page. If you say row reverse, it will reverse the rows. Okay, when we declare row reverse, your row alignment will start from right top corner. And this is how it works. Similarly, we can arrange it for the column, but for column we don't need wrap, so this is how it works. Okay, so flex flow is a shortcut for flex direction and flex wrap. Next property is justify content. Means what? Okay, so let me change this to row first. Reduce the number of items. I will keep only 4. It was added for the flex wrap property only to show you how it works. So now I have these 4 divs and I want these 4 divs to be aligned at center. So to align these divs at center, we have a property called justify content. And here I will say justify content at center. And automatically these divs will be aligned at center. If you want, by default it is starting. Okay, default justify content default value is flex start. Okay, and as we have seen that it will start it from starting position of or left top corner. If you say flex end, it will start from the end of flex where it has started. And this is how content is aligned. Means these flex items are aligned at flex end. We have few more properties. Okay, if you want to add some space between these, we can say space around. Okay, and justify content value you have to put there as a space around. So what it will do, you can see here that it will take some space, same space around each element, each side. Means it will take, let's say this is a 50 pixel from left side, again it will take for 50 pixel from right side. For second div also it will take 50 pixel from left side, from right side also. For third and fourth it will work same. But if you want, it should take only space between the two items, flex items, and it should not take space from left side and extreme right side. So in that case, we have to say space between, and it will take space between two items only. Automatically everything is adjusted. Okay, if I add one more element, you will see the difference, that fifth will be aligned at the extreme right, and fourth and fifth will take some space. The space is equally spaced. Anyways, if you want to add the space around the element, equal space, okay, equal space means earlier what we used the space around, and space around was taking a space from both the sides for both the div. But I don't want that. I want each element or each item should take equal space from either any of the side, means from left side or right side. So this space, left side of first block, which is equal to the space between first and two, which is also equal to the space between second and three, which is also space between three and four. And this is how space evenly value, means justify content space evenly works. So with respect to horizontal alignment, we have seen that justify content allows to align the flex items at center or at start, at end, or if you want to add the space around it, yes, we can add by using justify content. Similarly, if you want to align the elements vertically, okay, so for a flex item, I have not declared, for flex container, I have not declared any height. Let's say if I declare the height, and height of, we'll say 500 pixel. And here you can see that automatically the items, flex items are stretched to fit that height. I do not need to mention any height, right? And this is possible because of one property, that is child property. I mean the flex item property. I will talk on that. That property is align self. So for align self, by default value is stretch. Okay, that's why this is happening. But I can add width here. Oh, sorry. I can add height here. Width is, I don't need to worry about width. I will say height of 200 pixel. And if I go here and if I refresh here, you will see that it is taking a height of 200 pixel. Additionally, it has taken padding. So I will reduce this to 100 pixels so that padding plus height will be 100 pixel. Now I wanted to align these items. Okay, now I wanted to align these items vertically center. And to make that possible, we have a flex property called align item. Align item property works with only flex boxes. Okay, and this property is flex container property, and you have to say align item center, and you will see the effect of that property, that all the elements are aligned at center vertically. Okay, and if you use the flex start, align item flex start, it will be started, or flex end, if you use, it will be at downside, means like extreme downside, or we can say that it will be at extreme bottom side. Later on, if you use the flex start, it is a default property of align item. Our flexes are started from this position only, top position only. So this is default. Then we have a value called stretch for that. And if I say align item stretch, okay, this is default, and this height will matter here. If I say stretch, it will not work. If I remove the height, means height is overriding the align item stretch property, and this is getting stretched. Okay, and if I say instead of stretch, I will say center, automatically that will be centered also. I have added height to show you, but that is not required. Okay, so this is how it works. So default property of align item is stretch, and your flex items will be stretched to take up the height of flex container. If I remove or if I reduce this to 300 pixel, yes, it will take 300 pixel. As per the parent, their height will be changed automatically because of this property. If you want to change, you can change it. Okay, and this is how align item works. So if you want to align the items at the baseline, yes, it will be aligned at baseline. But how this works? Okay, so if you have these items of different sizes, then this property will work. Otherwise, you will not see the any effect of this align item baseline. So there may be a situation that you have a content less or more content in each of the div, then that will baseline will work. Now I want perfectly center flex item. Means we have seen that we have seen that we, let's say I have one item, and we have seen the property that justify content allows to define the or not define. Okay, justify content allows to make the flex items at center, or to make it horizontally center. So I will say center. Okay, similarly, we can use the center for align item. So this is for vertical center, this is for horizontal center, and your div will be aligned at perfectly center. This is what we can do if whenever you have to align the div at center of, and we can add image to this div, anything, any type of content we can add to this div. We are learning flex properties for alignment only. So far we have seen all the properties related to flex container. Flex direction we have seen, that is either in a row or either in a column. Flex wrap will allow you to wrap the containers on next row if there is no width or no space available for the next container. Flex flow is a shorthand for flex direction and flex wrap. That is what we have seen. Justify content allows us to align the elements at different position on or in a row. Means Justify content allows to align the elements or flex items horizontally. After that, align items allows to align the flex items vertically, center, or vertically down, or at top, or at bottom position. So now I would like to discuss the next properties, that is the properties for flex items. Okay, so let's say I have a multiple divs here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So these 4 items I have. Now what I need to do, I wanted to give the order to these divs, means these items. But whenever you have to give the properties for flex items, always use the inline style, inline CSS style. And here you will say order, or order is equal to, I will say second. So for this div, my flex container should consider this is the second item. This is how it works, and it will change the display order of elements. So here I will say again order is equal to 3. Okay, again I will add style to next elements, and I will say style or order 1. Again for last one I will say order is last. Okay, so as per the given order, we can say that first item should be displayed with the value 3, then second item should be displayed with value 1. So 3, 1, 2, 4, that should be the sequence of my display items order. And if I go here and if I refresh here, you can see that third element is coming at the first position. Then according to the order, my elements will be displayed. So this is how order property help us to align or arrange the flex items, flex item sequence, we can say. Okay, so next property is flex grow. So flex grow property allow you to define the size, means okay, so I will say flex grow 1. Okay, same property I will use for all other, and then I will talk on this for how this works. Okay, so what flex property or flex grow property will do, so when we say flex grow 1, browser will automatically count the number of flex grows or sum of these flex grow values, and it will divide the width by the sum of flex grow values, and that according to that width of that flex item will be arranged. So if I say here as a flex grow 1, that means it should take maximum possible width for one element. And here I have a 4 elements, so I can say that my each element should take 25% of width, because I divided 100% by 4, so it comes 25%. And I will refresh. So here you can see that your flex items are spread over the entire width of flex container, and each has taken the equal width by using flex grow. But if I want to change the width, means this flex grow property to any another value other than 1. So what it will do, it will divide the width. So let's say I will say this third element should take 2 spaces, means 2. So what here, what will happen, browser will calculate 100% width, and it will count, it will take the sum of these grows, and here now 1 plus 1 plus 2, 4 plus 1, 5. So it will divide 100 by 5, and your width should come somewhere around 20%. So it will align the 20% for first, 20% for second element, and for third, 2 into 20% means it will take 40% of total width. So this is how flex grow property works. And if I go here, if I refresh here, you can see that as compared to other elements, third element is taken, it has taken a double width because of that value. So similarly, it works for or any value you can use, and accordingly it behaves. Okay, so this is the use of flex grow property. Now we have something called flex shrink property. So flex shrink is exactly opposite to the flex grow. So in flex grow, as our width is increases, in flex shrink, our width is decreases. Okay. So here what I will do, instead of that, okay, I will say width of 25%. Okay. So for each item, I have assigned a width, and I will remove this. Flex grow, flex grow, flex grow, and flex grow. So here we are able to see that it is coming on next line because of this border. So here I will declare for all the element, it should take box sizing border box. So width should not be higher than, including border and all, higher than the given width. Border and padding is also considered in the given width. That is why what the use of border box sizing property with the border box value. Okay, so now I have to say shrink property. So what is mean by shrink? Okay, if I change the width here, you can see that my div width is changing, right? It is changing. If I want to restrict the shrinkage of any div, so I will say flex shrink 0, and this will not allow a div to shrink. Okay, this will not allow a div to shrink. And if I say, and if I refresh, okay, still it is shrinking. Okay, because we have taken, yes, that is what the drawback here, we have taken width in percentage, so it automatically calculate. But if I take fixed width, if I take 200 pixel, okay, pixel width, and here you can see that each div has taken 200 pixel width. Now I don't want this second element to be shrinked, and there is a one property, if you have used flex wrap as a wrap, then this shrink effect you won't be able to see. Why? Because it will shrink the element, sorry, it will wrap the elements on new line. And if you don't want to wrap, here you can say that no wrap. Then you would be able to see the effect of shrink. And you can see here that my first element, third element, and fourth element is getting shrinked. It is, I mean, its width is getting reduced, but second element width is remain as it is. It is not changing at all. So that is the effect of shrink. But now I wish when I change the browser width, my flex should shrink twice as compared to other. As compared to other. So I will say here flex shrink 1. Okay, as we did for grow, we have to do same for here also. And flex shrink 1. 1 means it is normally shrinked as it is. But if you increase the value 1 to 2, that element or that item should be shrinked double as compared to other elements. Like it was growing for that much amount. So here you can see that my second element is even smaller, a bit smaller than other 3 elements. So this is the effect of shrink. And if you want to see the more effect, you can increase this value to 3 or 4, whatever value you can take. And now it will be a good impact to see. So now you can see that my second element is shrink larger, or 4 times as compared to third, fourth, and first element. So this is how flex shrink works. But whenever you have to use the flex shrink property, remember that you need to define flex wrap as a no wrap. Otherwise, elements will be move on next row, and your elements, I mean, your flex items will not get shrinked. So this is how flex shrink property works. So now if you want to set the initial width to the flex box, okay, so for that purpose, we have a property called flex basis, and that property allow you to define the initial width. So by default, I have declared this as a what 20, okay, or 200%, 200 pixel is sufficient. Later, what I will do, I will remove this flex shrink now, and I will use the flex basis property for these elements. I will say flex basis, and here this allow me main size property as used flex basis. Okay, so here I will say my fourth element should be of 400 pixels. So this is what the width we can set, right? And it takes that much amount of width. Similarly, we can use flex basis for all other elements to set their initial width. That is the use of flex basis. So you can set different width, different size of width, 100 pixel, 200 pixel, 300 pixel, 400 pixel, as you want. Okay, by using flex basis property. So this flex basis property allow you to define the width for each flex item. Next is a flex property. Flex property is a shortcut for flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis property. So together you can define all those 3 properties that we have seen earlier: flex grow, flex shrink, and flex basis. So here I will say flex. Okay, first you have to say flex grow. I will say it should grow by 2. Flex shrink 0, and I will say flex basis is of 300 pixel. So ideally, as per the width, it should increase the width of this. And why this is a bit larger? Because even you can see that this is more than what more than the 400 pixel, because we have already defined here flex grow as a 1. I will say flex grow as a, okay, 1 or 0. Okay, so this is what the 300 pixel. If we define flex grow by 1, it will double the size of it. Means it will increase the flex size by 100%. So this is how flex property works. And last property is align self. Align self is exactly same as align item. So by using align item, what we were doing, we were able to align the flex items in vertically, right? But if you want to align these items separately, then you can use align self property. Means what? If we use align item from parent, okay, from parent, that property is applicable for all the elements. But if so, now what I have given here is align center. So that's why these elements are aligned, or these items are aligned vertically center. But now I want to override that property. So this align cell property will override the align item property. I will say flex end. So here you will see that effect of align end. I will align each element at different position. I will say align, not align item. I will say align self. Align self is at flex start. Now this should be remain at center, so I will not align. I will say align self at baseline. So these are the values. Align center is already we have taken. That's why the third element will be remain at its center position. Other elements will be dispersed as per the given value of align self property. So I said align first element as align self as a flex end. So it is at the bottom side. This is at a flex start side. This is center. This is at a baseline. Okay, so this is how it works. This is how align self property works. Okay, next thing is I would like to discuss here that Flexbox with media query. Okay, so what is the mean of media query? So here you can see that we have aligned this justify content as a center. I will say flex start. So content would start here. Just consider that this is like what we can say that this is like a nav bar. Okay, and yes, it can it should looks like nav bar. Yes. So now I have to align these boxes vertically when my screen size is lesser than 800 pixel. Okay, now here it is not changing, but I want this style should change. Right, this style should change. By default, it is coming horizontally, but if I reduce the size of my screen or browser window lesser than 800 pixel, then these boxes should be automatically in a column style. Yes, we can do that, and that is possible. Okay, let me add a few more items, or instead of align item center, I will bring this to flex start also, so that it should start from starting position. I will add a few more items here. Okay, so that it covers 6. Okay, not this is 5 and this is 6. Okay, and yes, so I have to add, or I have to write the media query here, and I will write here at media screen, and I have to write the expression. What expression? Either mean width or max width. So I will say max width of 800 pixel, because I have to change the property when my width is lesser than 800 pixel. That's why I am using max width. If you want to change the property for higher than 800 pixel, you can use the mean width of 800 pixel. So I will say 800 pixel. And how these properties will change. Okay, so I will say dot flex container. I have to override the properties for this element only, and here I will say flex flow as a column. Okay, I have taken flex grow. It should not be a flex grow, it should be a flex flow. Okay, and column. Okay, so this is how I used media query, and here you will see that how my container will change, or how it should change. So automatically it is coming in a column when my screen size is lesser than 800 pixel, and when it goes above 800 pixel, it will be a row style. This is how we can add the style. So initially what we had done, okay, so these two properties I have declared there. Also I will override that property here. Also I will take these properties for lesser than 800 pixel width. Otherwise I want these elements to be aligned at center, so I will say center here. Yes, there will not be any problem. Just to show you, I was replace these properties. So on bigger screen, they all the elements should come like this, but when I change the screen size, it should be aligned like this. So this is how responsive design works. Okay, so with respect to flex blocks, okay, Flexbox, I have discussed almost each and every property to work with responsive web design. Yes, and this is whatever we have seen, these are the property help us to design the responsive website. I hope this session would be helpful for you. Please do not forget to subscribe webcam, and thank you for watching the video.